Welcome to Comply on the Fly with M3 and Karen B, your trusted resource for quick, reliable insights into employee benefits compliance. Each episode delivers clear answers to common compliance questions. Whether you're tuning in for the first time or you're a seasoned listener, we're here every other week to make navigating compliance a little easier. Please note this podcast and the contents herein do not constitute legal advice. In all cases, employers should consult with their own legal counsel. Let's dive in.
Hello, everyone. I'm Karen B, and the Comply on the Fly topic for today is the required Gag Clause Attestation, required annually by December 31st, and some additional guidance issued by the departments after the last required attestation in 2024. The new guidance, released as FAQs, addresses how the Gag Clause prohibition applies in certain circumstances. First, downstream agreements. You, as a plan sponsor, may enter into agreements with third-party administrators or TPAs or other service providers that then enter into agreements with other entities to provide or administer the plan's network. These agreements are referred to as downstream agreements. If these downstream agreements restrict a third-party administrator or TPA or service provider from sharing information with the plan or the plan sponsor, they potentially violate the prohibition on gag clauses by indirectly preventing plan sponsors from obtaining information they otherwise could obtain. Second, discretionary disclosures. Some agreements with TPAs or service providers leave the disclosure of information at the discretion of the TPA or service provider. These discretionary clauses would be an example of an impermissible gag clause. Third, restrictions on access to information. TPAs and service providers will sometimes place limitations on the scope, scale, or frequency of electronic access to information for plan sponsors. If these limitations place unreasonable limits on the ability of the plan sponsor to access information upon request, the departments take the position that these are prohibited gag clauses. So, what if you uncover or find a gag clause in your contracts? The departments have stated that information about agreements containing prohibited gag clauses should be provided in the attestation process if the provision in the contract cannot be removed. But bottom line, gag clauses are prohibited, so enforcement action is possible if they exist in your contracts. The departments will consider good faith efforts to self-report these gag clauses, but in the absence of enforcement relief, plan sponsors are encouraged to work with their own counsel to determine if self-reporting any prohibited gag clauses is prudent. We also encourage you to visit m3ins.com to find additional information regarding gag clause attestation requirements. And that is your Comply on the Fly topic for today. Thanks for tuning in.
For more employee benefits compliance insights from Karen B and her team, please visit m3ins.com.